Welcome back to the Club Junkie Podcast, and I know this is a day late. It is Friday instead of Thursday, but I was traveling all last week. Remember guest the week before that. This is the first time I've kind of sat down and able to record with some time. So thanks for checking back in. Before we jump into today's episode, just want to let you know that it is brought to you by Titleist, and the Voki design team is always grinding and always coming up with ways to make each new release better than the last. With the new SM10 wedges, they've done it again, thanks in no small part to the tremendous input they get from the countless tour pros who play Voki wedges. Better players make better wedges. The feedback tour pros give directly leads to the improved performance you'll experience. One example is the CG in the lower lofts of for the SM10 shifting up to help full shots hold their line better. Think fewer pulls, more pins. SM10s produce the piercing, low flight tour pros love from a wedge, but any player can benefit from the added control of lower flight. Get better wedges and become a better wedge player with Voki Design SM10 wedges. Go to Voki.com to sharpen your short game with SM10 and find a fitter near you. So yeah, it's been a busy week. I went to did the member guest last week. We'll talk about kind of what's in the bag. There was a decent amount of tinkering going on, and then I went out to San Diego or to Southern California to see Callaway and Titleist last week or this week, end of this week, and got to go check out some new stuff. And unfortunately, I'm not able to talk about it yet, but I was there, and it was a whole lot of fun. Got to hit a lot of stuff, and I'll tell you what, the back was pretty much, Jesus, camera's just not going where I wanted to go today. And then my back was pretty much shot. I got home, flew home yesterday on Thursday, landed at like 2 o'clock, got my bag, all that stuff, drove home, got home at like 3, and went to golf league last night at like 4:30. So all in all, I've been home for like an hour and a half, it feels like, and that's it. But it's been a cool, wild week. So we'll start off with, I went on a trip there, a bunch of new stuff, got to hit it, at TPI, at Callaway's ECPC. I mean, going to be able to hit on those ranges where, they fit. I mean, there was a live player just down from me at ECPC hitting balls, or if I say ECPC, it's Ely Callaway Performance Center. There's a live player down doing some stuff, doing some work. There were some people doing some testing. And I mean, the range there is absolutely stunning. It's a really cool place. It's kind of their product testing, development, fitting type area, much like TaylorMade's Kingdom, Titleist's TPI, but it's Callaway's version. It's super nice. So I got to go there, hit a bunch of new stuff, which was awesome. And then I went after that. Then I went and actually played 9 holes. So actually I went and got lunch because I was there early in the morning, got lunch, and then went and joined up with couple guys, a guy from Fuji, a guy from Cobra, and went and played 9 holes out at Shadow Ridge. So that was a blast. I appreciate those guys inviting me out. And I played terrible. The back was like starting already to feel a little tight. And then the next morning, got up, went to Titleist, and was at Titleist TPI in Oceanside for the entire day, which was a whole lot of fun. That place is really awesome as well. I mean, ECPC is very cool. TPI. If I had to rank them, because I know everybody talks about, there's the Kingdom, there's Callaway ECPC, there's Titleist TPI. Those are kind of the big ones out there. TPI is probably the most impressive. It's massive compared to the other two. It's probably double the size. So if you took the Kingdom and Callaway's ECPC and put them like side by side together, like that amount of land, I think TPI might be bigger. TPI is massive. Titleist TPI. It's pretty cool. They're doing a lot of work there still. They're expanding. They've got like a podcast studio. I was actually like the second person, I think, who got to use the actual podcast studio. So when they have their new releases, you'll see I got to use that studio to do kind of a podcast, which is very cool. But I got to hit a bunch of balls, and same thing, like hit a bunch of balls, and then we went in, did some product stuff, and then hit a few more balls, and by that time it was like 5 o'clock and ready to go. So out the door I went, and grabbed dinner with Jake Morrow from Made for the Range. He was in town doing some stuff as well, and grabbed some lunch or some dinner that night, and then had the 6:20 flight out yesterday morning, 6:20 San Diego time, and out the door went, and back home to Detroit. So it's been a wild couple weeks. but a whole lot of fun. And yeah, we're going to talk about kind of tinkering during the member guest, because I definitely did some tinkering. If you didn't see it, I did a What's in the Bag video over on the Golf WX YouTube channel for my What's in the Bag for the member guest, and it was I think I mentioned I had 2 drivers in the bag for the practice round, because the member guest is Wednesday practice round with the dinner, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday are the regular rounds, with Saturday being your final kind of round, and you try to qualify for what they call the shootout, which is kind of an accumulation of the flights, see who wins, and then there's a big formal dinner afterwards. So a whole lot going on. It was a fun week, long. But on Wednesday, or I did my What's in the Bag video for Thursday. I think I put it out on Thursday, but it was basically for Wednesday and the rest of the week. But went out there, and I kind of even said, look, I'm going to bring 2 drivers, because driver is the one thing that I'm really still trying to figure out, and I still am. I had some good stuff going on, some bad, so I still got to figure out driver before that. And then, yeah, I mean, putter was always one that I was like, could always change, depending on how I putt. And we just went through a handful of clubs. So the middle of the bag didn't change. I actually switched out. I was going to play a 3-wood. I brought a mini driver for the practice round. So before we get into driver and putter, which I'll talk about, but before that, I actually ended up changing out 3-wood and going mini driver. And I brought it for the practice round because we were playing at Dearborn Country Club, which is a great old Donald Ross course. Very cool, old club, very classic, ton of history. The Ford family kind of started it because Dearborn is kind of the Ford headquarters. The Golf WX office is, I mean, you could almost hit driver into Ford's headquarters, like their campus, as you call it. So Dearborn kind of started with the Fords, and it's a kind of a cool old classic club. It's got an old kind of old school clubhouse, all that. But yeah, it's a course where it's not long. It's tighter than you think. When you look at the scorecard, you're kind of like, oh, okay, like there's nothing here that's too crazy. You get out there, and it's definitely a course where hitting fairways is a premium, because if you're just off right or left, you're probably going to be blocked out or punching out or not hitting a comfortable full shot into the green like you would like to, and especially depending on where they put the pins. And with member guests, they of course make it a little more challenging. So it's a course where, when I look at it, there's 3 par 5s on it, and 2 of them are reachable without a 3-wood for me. I can hit drive, and I'm not I'm not a long hitter. That if I hit a good drive, I have less than 3-wood in. Like 2 of the par 5s are that. And then there's a third par 5 that is long, where I think if I hit a career drive and a career 3-wood, maybe I could get it on the front edge. It's just a really long par 5. It dog legs left, and it used to have this huge tree that blocked kind of the right side of the green, but that unfortunately got destroyed by a storm a couple of years ago, so it is no longer there. But so I looked at it and said, okay, well, 3-wood is not going to be something I hit off the deck pretty much at all. I mean, maybe on that 1 par 5 that's long, number 14. Maybe if I'm sitting there and got a good shot and just try to run it down there, but I'm going to pretty much lay up on that hole. So I was like, all right, well, 3-wood's not really going to be used, and then the other couple places where you would use it, it would be off the tee. So I said, all right, let me bring mini driver to the practice round. We'll see how it goes, and if I feel like, oh, this works out well, maybe I'll put it in the bag. If I feel like, you know what, I still need the 3-wood, I can definitely go back to it for Thursday, Friday, the Thursday round. So brought mini driver in there, and it worked out really well. I brought the PXG secret weapon, so I could hit it off the ground if I needed to or wanted to, and I brought that, and yeah, I went and hit that. So it worked out really well. I actually didn't hit it off the tee near as much as I thought. I pretty much played it off the tee on hole 4. So 4 is a little par 4. It doglegs left kind of at the end. And if you hit it like it's something like, I think like 240 where the fairway runs out into the trees. And if you go into the trees there, which are not super dense, but you're punching out, you're trying to run a ball up there onto the green to hit it. So you really want to hit a ball that's like 230. Between probably 210 and 230 if you're going to try to take on the bunker and kind of cut a little bit of the corner. And even if you're going to play it straight, right down the fairway, like you really only have like 230, maybe, something at the most to hit it. So Worked really well there off the tee. I hit a perfect the first day that Wednesday. Hit a perfect one right over the bunker. It was a perfect shot there. And then one day was a 2-man scramble, so I hit driver, of course, try to cut the corner as much as possible. And then back when we played our own ball again for aggregate, hit it over, hit it on the tee there. But interesting enough, I really didn't hit it off the tee much else because a lot of those holes, there's just no. I mean, it's tight, but I guess mini driver for me isn't like crazy that much more forgiving. And a lot of those holes, you want to get it down there. Like 18 is kind of a slightly tighter shot. You don't really want to draw it too much, depending on where the tee box is. But for there, like you want the distance because you want to hit, you want to hit the shortest club you can into that green because it's got a lot of slope and a lot of movement. There's water on the right and left. So I ended up hitting driver a whole lot more. But the mini driver worked out pretty well. I ended up keeping it in the bag. I hit it off the deck twice. One time I didn't hit. Neither my partner or I hit a great tee shot on 6, which is a par 5, and we were a little further away than we wanted to be. So we were like 230 something, or no, it was 220 into the wind. So my partner kind of hit his shot down, just kind of left side, and I was like, well, I'm going to go for it then. I mean, we got an easy, decent wedge shot. And I figured into the wind, all that, and I hit mini driver to the front of just off the front of the green. It was just on the rough, to the left of the left front of the green, and it worked out really well there. I didn't hit it crazy high, but hit it high enough where it got down, kind of went into the hill, stopped, and we had a great, good little wedge shot there. And then I hit it off the deck on that really long par 5. I hit it off the deck at least I think twice in the scramble, and one of the best ball days I hit it off the deck there. One of which just ripped it right down the middle. Didn't make it to the green, which was fine. I didn't expect to. And again, just had a little wedge on. And then the other time I kind of pulled it a little left and was left of the green. So mini driver went in, that PXG secret weapon. And I do have to say, you can hit that thing off the deck fairly well. Now I've got mine as 13 degree head. I turn it up 1.5 and make it flat. So it's 14.5 and flat. The face shuts just a touch, but it's not too bad. And it does get up off the ground. So if you're someone who needs kind of wants the mini driver, but you need to hit it off the deck, that PXG works pretty well. So that went in the bag, and it actually stayed because I put it in practice round. So that worked out really well. And then for putter, I went in there with the Kevin Burns 9306 2.0, which I absolutely love that putter. But I didn't putt with it well on Wednesday. I went in there Wednesday, and I struggled getting stuff online. The greens are definitely rolled. They're fast, and they make them fast for the member guest. And I just didn't putt well with it. So swap that out for a Ping PLD Answer 2D, which I don't really talk about much. It's kind of in my arsenal, and I've used it a handful of times, but a really stable, wider mallet. So I brought both those, or I brought the Kevin Burns on Wednesday. Didn't putt well, didn't really make anything, and I missed a few short ones that I felt like, I just should have made. So said, heck with it, let's swap it out. So I brought the Ping on Thursday, and I'm sorry. I played the Kevin Burns on Thursday. So I played it Wednesday, putted okay, played it Thursday, and under the pressure, didn't putt near as well. So I never made anything. I missed a few short ones on Thursday. So then Friday, threw the Ping in the bag and played the Ping Friday and Saturday. On Friday, I putted much better with it. Made a few putts. That was the 2-man scramble. So I went, best ball, 2-man scramble, and then the last day on Saturday was 2-man aggregate. And this was all stable fruit scoring. So, you're just trying to make points. And then Friday, Saturday putted with the Ping PLD. So the Ping was great on Friday. Putted really well, made a bunch of putts. We did really well on the 2-man scramble. We put up some points, and we were in first place going into Saturday. And Saturday, I just couldn't make a putt. And I think I got in my head because I hit a putt that I thought I hit well. And both my partner and my caddy were like, and we had a 4 caddy who was like, oh man, the face was so shut on that. And that's why you missed it. And then I think that got into my head, and I didn't putt well the rest of the day. So which was a bummer, but I just didn't putt well. But my partner and I, neither one of us played amazing on Saturday. So the Ping PLD, Answer 2D, again, bigger, wider blade, putted with that. And yeah, it was. It definitely made a big. I definitely putted better on Friday with it, and Saturday kind of, like I said, I think got in my head about what I was doing, and where that putter face was through impact, whether it was a path thing or at impact, the face angle. It was just I was in my head and I was all over the place. I was hit a putt that hit a putt or two where the face was shut. Then I was like, well, I'm not doing that. And I'd leave it open and miss it right. So yeah, it was just kind of a mess with putting. But then the rest of the bag the rest of the bag until driver stayed true. Irons, 3DP Tours, really good. Those stayed in the bag. They were great. I had the PXG Sugar Daddy 3 50-56 in there, really good. I really like those wedges. They spin so well out of the rough. You have so much less release out of the rough than I have with some other wedges. So those are really good. And then that Vokey Wedgework 60 A+ grind has been solid as well. I mean, that thing is it's versatile. The sole's a little wider. You can hit it out of the trap, all that stuff. It works really well. So those things didn't change. 7-wood, I really only hit 7-wood once. So I had the TaylorMade, the QI35 Tour. I had it on, what hole was it? I think it was one of the par 5s, and I kind of heeled it, but ran it down. So I kind of heeled it, didn't hit it amazing, but I ran it down right in front of, right on either the front of the green or right in front of the green. But I only hit it one time. And I remember because I looked at the impact on the face, and I was like, I got it on the heel. But I only swung that one time. Didn't really use it much. Just that yardage never really came into play. So that was in the bag, but never really touched. And then, it was, like I said, mini driver. And the driver was a little interesting. So practice round, I brought 2 drivers and kind of told my partner, hey, I'm bringing, extra clubs. I think I brought 2 drivers and an extra shaft to the practice round. And then I had the Ping G440 Max with a Graphite Design 280 VF 6X. And I was hitting that on the range. And I was hitting it pretty well. Because I also brought my Titleist GT2 and I had the Diamante WB. And then I can't remember what other shaft I brought. I think I brought like a Ventus Red with me or whatever. So went out, hitting them on the range, and between the two, I was hitting them pretty equal. So I said, all right, I'm going to play the front 9 with the G440 Max, and I'll play the back 9 with the GT2. So went through the front 9 and hit the G440 Max fairly well. I think going to a shaft that was just slightly counterbalanced in there, making that head, which Ping heads tend to be a little bit heavy, making that head feel just a little bit lighter, definitely helped. And I hit that much better than I'd hit the Ping all year. So that was really good. Hit that well. And I didn't hit every fairway, and I missed a few, but I hit it overall pretty well, and that head is super stable. And then on the back 9, I hit GT2 with that WB, the Diamante WB, and was just absolutely nuking it. Just like it was one of those like you felt amazing. Every hole that you hit driver, you walked up, you pulled driver, and it was just like, yeah, well, I kind of want to hit it here. And I may not have hit there, but I was in play. I was hitting it well. I was hitting it far. And it was just like kind of effortless compared to the Ping. So I was like, great, we'll play the GT2. So played the GT2 on Thursday and hit it fairly well. Hit it pretty well. Not as well as I did the day before, but hit it pretty well. Missed a few fairways, but overall I wasn't hitting it OB and stuff, so it was great. So went through, plotted along, and hit it pretty decent. Then went to Friday in the 2-man scramble. And of course, you're hitting driver a ton because it's a scramble. You're not laying up anywhere. And I think, honestly, and this is the stupidest thing, but I think the Z-Cord grip, the Golf Pride Z-Cord grip that's on that shaft, just like tore up my hands. Like my hands were killing me at the end of, and because I don't play chords, like my hands aren't like dialed into that. And on Friday, my hands were just like, it like stung. It like kind of hurt to like hold the club. So like every swing, I was just kind of like, oh man. And I hit the driver terrible. I was all over the place. I think I probably hit like 2 fairways all day. And it was just everywhere. And honestly, a lot of it was just like gripping it. Like it hurt to grip it. And I think, my hands just weren't used to that firm, hard, rough surface. And it just, after 2 days of it, they were pretty beat up. So I was like, all right, I need to put in something that is a little bit softer. But my GT2 is 11-degree head. And the swing has changed slightly since I got fit for it. So I do hit the ball a little bit higher than I did with that. So I was like, I want something low launch. And I'm like, honestly, going again, something a little counterbalanced, something a little lighter. Maybe I can swing it a little faster, square it up a little easier, whatever. And that was my kind of thought behind it. And so that day, so on Saturday, I switched it out. After 2 days of the whiteboard, I switched it out and put the Project X Hazardous T1100 in the bag. Which is a 6.0, so it's a stiff 60 gram, and put that in the bag. And that's a slightly counterbalanced shaft, but again, really stiff profile. Like that thing, I mean, it feels like an X, even though it's a stiff. And yeah, kind of lower launch, lower spin, put it in that head. And I drove it all right. I was just off. It was like, and then Saturday, it was one of those things where like, if I didn't drive it perfect, like if I hit a really good drive, which I was actually able to step up and like what I wanted to, kind of hit a little bit of a cut. If I did it right, I could hit a cut. And I was doing that, and when I hit a perfect drive, I would mess up the second shot. Just hit a terrible second shot. Now, when I didn't hit a good drive, and I like, hit it into the trees, whatever, I would hit like the perfect punch out, and then like a good shot on the green. I'd find a way to save par. And I'd hit it in the fairway, and I'd hit a terrible second shot, or I'd three putt, and I'd make bogey. It was just like an absolute mess on Saturday for me, for everything. I just could not figure it out. But that combo was decent. Like I said, when I actually was like, okay, I want to hit a little like shot. And I did mentally, like I was like, all right, keep the arms in, because my recent thing is like the arms kind of get away from the body and I cast it. I get it kind of over the top and I cast it out. And I have a shut face, so it smothers it left. And if I could stop, keep the arms in, I was okay. But every time I did that, I hit a perfect drive, have it right in the middle of the fairway, and then I just screw up the second shot. And then the times when the arms got away from me and I hit it in the left trees, I'd like punch out, scramble, find a way to make par. It was just a weird day. But driver ended up being GT2 head for the whole week, and then just switching shafts, mainly because the grip on that WB just was like tearing me up. So I probably need to change the grip, or either I need to change the grip on that shaft, because I do like that shaft, I hit it pretty well, or I need to just commit to like cord grips and just rough up the hands, because it was one of the two. And yeah, it was rough. So anyway, that was kind of the gear stuff for the day. Ball didn't change. I played Pro V1X all week. And yeah, I mean, the GT2 worked really well when I could hit it, like, when I did what I needed to do. And then I kind of proved the same thing. Like when I went to league last night, the first hole, arms got away, casted it, hit it off the heel, hit it left. It was a terrible shot. We do a scramble every like middle of the year, end of the year. And we're 10 weeks in. This is like our 10th week in league. And the same thing, like when I kept my arms in and I did what I needed to do, I hit nothing but good drive. So on, we played the back nine. So on 10, terrible drive, hit it left into the kind of the trees, rough area. I was like right up against the fence of OB. So he didn't take my shot. We ended up taking another guy's. And but then I think we took the rest of the time. We took my tee shot. I had good ones on every hole that I hit driver after that. So, and because I like kept the arms against the body and hit it solid. So, I got to definitely work on that before the guys' weekend comes up here. We just did the draft for that, but I'll talk about that later. But so for the member guest to kind of finalize it, because I know I just kind of ramble. It was so yeah, we went out Wednesday, had a practice round. It was great. I kind of pissed off the guys we played against, because we did throw a couple bucks down to play against the guys we were playing with in our practice round, and I switched drivers in between rounds. And I think I also adjusted the GT2 as well, because it's an 11-degree head. I think it turned it down 0.75, because I use all fit, these universal tips that fit to basically, so any shaft I can put in any driver head. And I did adjust it like on like the 10th tee or something like that when I set it up. And the one guy on the team was like, hey, you can't do that tomorrow. And he kind of was like a little aggravated, I think, by it. And even my partner was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't have switched drivers. And I was like, well, I know, but like I went into this, like I needed to figure out what I needed to play. So I don't think he was too happy, but I switched drivers there. But Wednesday we played, and everything was really good. And then Thursday, the first day, so they had morning and afternoon shotgun starts. They just split the flights, and we were in the fourth flight out of 8. So they did the first 4 flights, or I think it was 8. No, it might have been 10. So they did the first 4 flights in the morning, second flights in the afternoon, and then it switched. So we went afternoon on Friday. So in the morning on Thursday, we played all right. It was 2-man best ball, Stableford scoring. So I think a bogey was 0, pars were 1 point, birdies were like 2 or 3, and eagles were like 5 or something. But we played pretty well. We got out of there with 26 points. So we didn't play, stupid lights out. There were a couple teams that put up some massive points that day that just guys who played well. We had 26 points, and we were in the lead by 2. The group we played with that morning, the 2 guys, which was awesome. We had a great time. Like, they were 2 phenomenal dudes, super funny. fun to play with. And they played pretty well too. So they had 24 points. We had 26. We were 1-2 after day one, and it was a good time. So we kind of ham and egged it when somebody made a bogey or something like that. The other person was making a par, made a couple birdies, and it worked out really well. I think I shot because they put the scores in. I think I shot 84 that day, so I played pretty decent for me at least that day. And then Friday came around. We didn't play till the afternoon. And it was kind of like a misty, I wouldn't call it rain. It just kind of like sprinkled mistied all day. Whether you played in the morning, you played in the afternoon, you just kind of got that. And that was 2-man scramble. And again, we ham and egged it enough where we came away with 24 points on that day. So we hung onto the lead by I think 1, maybe 2 points over the guys we played with on Thursday. But Friday was just one of those like 2-man scramble things where my partner and I kind of play similar games. We're not super long. He's a really good short game guy. I can usually hit greens from maybe a little bit further than he can, but not much. So yeah, we weren't necessarily like, oh, we have a bomber and a putter. We didn't really have that. So, but we got around and we got some good shots in there. We didn't come away with a ton of points. There was a group that had a rough first Thursday. They had a rough day as best ball, but they had an awesome day as I can't remember how many points they had. They had 30 some plus points, which put them like right behind, like in third place. So it was like us, another team. It was 1 point different, and then like I think those guys were like in like 2 or 3 of the second place team, but a team that had a really big jump that day. So we were still up. We knew we were kind of happy with it because we knew we didn't play amazing, and we were still up 1. So we going into Saturday, I said, all right, we just play okay. We can hopefully make it to the shootout. So went into Saturday, and we were back into the morning. It was supposed to be a crappy rainy day. Ended up being really nice, a little bit cool, but ended up being a perfect day. And went to the range. I was hitting it so good, just hammering balls. There's another guy there, the owner of Golf WRX was there. His name's Richard. And him and I were kind of like, he was hitting my irons, and we were talking about clubs or whatever, kind of going over what was in each other's bags and stuff. And then, I went out and played, and I started off horrible. Hit the ball terrible. And that round was, it was basically aggregate score. So Stableford scoring, aggregate score. So meaning it was Stableford, but you had to add up both scores. So if like one partner made a par, you got a point. But then if the other partner made double bogey, that was -1, and you got nothing. So it was, and it's handicapped, so there's strokes in there and stuff like that. But it was like net Stableford. So we went out there in the front 9, and you get paired up with whoever you're with. So we were in first place. We got paired up against the guys who were in second place, who were the people we played with on Thursday. So we were like, oh, it's going to be a great round. These guys are really fun. And, it'll be some good competition. They're only down 1, so it's going to be tight. And I got off to a really slow start, but we found it after a couple holes. And by the end of 9, we were up. I think we were up 6. Like we were up 6, and we weren't playing that well, and we were up 6. So it was like, all right, great. Like they were struggling in the beginning, and then that back 9, we kind of tied the first few holes, nothing too crazy, and then it was like kind of near the end. I want to say it was probably because there was like 3 holes left or 2 holes left after it was pretty much over, and it was basically a 9-point swing. Like basically, my partner and I both made like net doubles, so that's -2 points, and I think one guy made like an actual made a gross birdie, and he made birdie. And then his partner made par or something, and they ended up getting like 5 points. It was like basically there was a 2 or 3 hole stretch, and it was like a 9-point swing. And we went from being like up 6 to down 3. And then like the last 2 holes, we just tried to like, you try to get aggressive to try to make birdies, and it just didn't work out. So we ended up losing. We ended up actually getting pushed back all the way to third place. That team that did a big jump during the scramble, they had another good day. And we really were poor. I think we had 16 points total, which just did not get it done. And so we ended up third place in our flight, which was a bummer. It stunk. There was a little bit of silence riding the cart those last few holes. Not that we were mad at each other. We were just mad at ourselves for playing poorly. And our guys, but the group who made it to the shootout, they're good dudes. They had a great time. They unfortunately got knocked out fairly quickly. I think they hit one in the water. and got knocked out fairly quickly, unfortunately, on that 18th hole. But it was a good time. It was a whole lot of fun. I putted so bad on that Saturday that I actually just gave that putter, that Ping PLD Answer 2D, to our 4 caddy, and he was very shocked. And I was just like, I don't want this thing. It pissed me off, and here you go. So gave him the putter and said thank you very much. Putter, a little bit of cash. Said have fun. Thanks for. He was phenomenal. He was reading greens. I just could not hit the line that he'd tell me to hit, or I'd get the speed wrong or whatever. But his reads were phenomenal. He was really good. He knew those greens really well. So I gave him the putter and said, here you go, get it extended and enjoy. So that was a member guest. So yeah, we unfortunately didn't make it there, but we still had fun. It was a good time. All the dinners, all the social stuff as well. It's always a blast. So if you ever get invited to a member guest, definitely go do it. It's while it may not be an inexpensive thing to do, it's a whole lot of fun, and you get to experience a whole lot of different things: food, golf, other people, hanging out. It was a good time. So had fun with that, and appreciate my buddy for inviting me out again this year. We played again. I played in this like 3 or 4 years ago, and we actually won our flight. We made it to the shootout, but this time we fell a little short. So a little bit of a bummer, but it was fun to kind of tinker and mess around. And now we just did last night. Thursday night was our draft for our Sragwa group guys outing, which I will definitely talk about more probably next week. And as we get into this summer and as we get closer to going. But the Sragwa is we have a group of 16 guys that go and do a golf trip every year. Usually it's northern Michigan. We go up and play one of the resorts for basically, it's usually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So usually we play kind of a practice round on Thursday. That's optional, but then we do 36 Friday, 36 Saturday, 18 Sunday, and go home. And it's kind of a mini Ryder Cup style type thing. We do, 2-man best ball. We do 9-hole matches, so 2-man best ball, 2-man scramble. We do a shamble format, do a modified alternate shot, and then on Sunday you just kind of do a singles match play. So it's a whole lot of fun. And we have captains and do a draft. We kind of like take it more serious than we should for our handicaps and all that. But I was a captain 2 years ago. And we won. We won massively. And then last year we lost in the closest match that we've ever had. And then this year is our 10th anniversary. So instead of going to northern Michigan, we're going to the French Lick Resort in the beginning of August. So we will be down there playing, which we're super excited about. It should be fun. So we did our draft. My team, I think, is solid. I think we got a good team. We have one guy who is brand new. One of our longtime founding members has a personal thing that he can't get out of, so he unfortunately can't play this year, which is a bummer. But we got a guy who to replace him, who I think will be pretty solid. And I think we got him draft-wise as a steal. I think he fell further because nobody knew much about his game. And from what he explained about his game, I think he might be a little bit better than people gave him credit for. So I'm pretty excited. But got drafted there, and I was the second pick. So first pick was, of course, guy Colin, who is probably the best player in the group. If you look at the 16 guys, he would be number one if you made me rank him. I went 2, which I think is a little bit higher than I think I should have went. There's another guy, Eddie, who him and I played match play last year, and he ended up beating me just by it ended up being 3 points because of the bonus points, but I think we tied the front 9, and then he beat me by 1 hole on the back, and then got bonus, so he got 3 points over me. But we played a pretty close one, so he's a really good player as well. And but yeah, so we got a good team. Pretty excited about that. It was cool. I was actually following along on my phone because we stream it, and I was following along on my phone as I played my golf league Thursday night men's league. So I was following along while playing and all that. But it was pretty cool. So excited to talk about that. But I'll talk more about the Sragwa and what it is in another show. So, but that was the member guest. So a lot of tinkering. Yes, even a member guest doesn't slow me down. And when I go to the Sragwa thing, we'll talk about it more. Usually I'm bringing 2 bags plus. There were already a bunch of jokes made last night during the stream about what clubs, how many clubs I'm bringing, all that crap. People kind of me counting my clubs in my bag when we go play, all that stuff. So I get a lot of crap for it, but it's a whole lot of fun. So anyways, that's the show. I know it's just kind of rambling about stuff, but that is what it is. So anyway, hopefully you guys have a good weekend, play some golf, and we'll jump back into kind of a normal routine next week. So have a good one. We'll see you in a few days.